to episode 53 of the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. My name is Ali. I live in Kent in the UK with my husband and our two daughters, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali. Oh yes, and all the notes and things you might be interested in or need to know about what I talk about are underneath this video in the description box, and I also put timestamps for each kind of section of stuff I talk about in case you're particularly interested in jumping to one section more than the other, or jumping around, or watching it out of order, or whatever tickles your fancy. How are you? I'm actually on schedule. I said I would podcast 2 weeks after my last one, and I am, but I need to be done by 11. It's currently 9 o'clock. I have a physio appointment at 11:30, so I need to leave at 11. So I'm going to try and film this before I have to go. If not, I'll have to film a bit now and a bit when I get back. It's because I had a car accident in November. If you've been watching the podcast for a while, you'll know that someone went into the back of me in November. It wasn't anything serious, but I did get whiplash. And it took them ages to get me an appointment for physio. So now it feels a bit like pointless really, but I'm going to go along because I am still suffering with stiffness in my neck, and once I've been for the appointment I'll know if I do need any treatment, and then I can kind of put the whole sorry episode behind me at last. Okay, I'm already rambling and I've got to do this quickly, so it doesn't bode well, does it? I've actually put in brackets here, don't waffle. Thanks to everybody for all of your lovely positive feedback on my little interim podcast Wool-ality TV video that I put out. I'll link to that on the screen and underneath this video. It was just a little vlog to tide me over in between podcasts really. I love making videos, and it was just a silly idea Dan and I had in the pub one night, although Dan thought it was sillier than I did. And I really enjoyed doing it, so I'm really glad you enjoyed it. And I should also say, because I forgot to last time, that there are several new videos up on my other channel, or our other channel, our family channel, which is This Little Wonderful Life. And over Christmas, I uploaded our Crimbo Limbo video, which is all about what we did between Christmas and sort of the 1st of January. Lots of days out and seasides and castles and all that kind of thing. And I also uploaded some vlogs we did before Christmas when we went to Chartwell, and the girls both did vlogs. So part of why we're doing This Little Wonderful Life is the girls are interested in making videos, and it's an opportunity for them to get to do that. So they both made their own vlog about our day out at Chartwell. So I'm sure they would appreciate it if you went along and gave them a little thumbs up on their videos. And I'll link to all those below. And lastly, I uploaded a video about our day out in Deal last weekend. You would have seen a very small amount of that in Wool-ality TV. But I actually filmed a little proper 20-minute vlog about that visit. So that's up too. So they'll all be linked below if you're interested in going and seeing some days out here in the UK and just general fun. Okay. So we get straight into it then. We're going to start off with some finished objects, and I've got two finished objects, and I'm so not organised, so I'm going to be searching for things all around me. So there was something quite motivating about knowing that I promised myself I would podcast in 2 weeks' time. I'm looking out the window because I can see our neighbour's cat, who's not our cat, who thinks that she would like to live here, I think. She's prowling about in the garden, so I'm hoping she's not going to start meowing loudly at the door. Yes, it was quite motivating knowing that I was going to podcast in a couple of weeks, because I had a couple of projects I wanted to aim to try and get done, and I managed to get one of those finished, and they are Dan's socks. Now, I finished these last night, or during the day yesterday and last night. I mostly finished them whilst watching Hairspray, because we bought a charity shop copy of the film Hairspray with John Travolta. It was so good. I've never seen Hairspray before. I didn't even know what it was about. So I absolutely loved it. We really enjoyed that. So I finished these whilst we were watching that, and then I kitchen at the toe while we were watching Doctor Who. And may I just say, in last night's Doctor Who, little old lady got it. But with the space rhinos came and they vaporised a little old lady. But before they did that, they vaporised her knitting. The horror! They vaporised the poor old lady's knitting. I was horrified. Anyway, moving on. yeah, so these are Dan socks, all finished. The yarn is Grundl Hot Socks in the, oh, hang on, let me get the label. I should know this really, shouldn't I? Grundl Hot Socks, pearl colour, with cashmere. Oh, that's not a problem because I'm going to stick it in my sock notebook. And the colour is, oh, here we go. Number 8, and it's like that, but there's no point in me showing you this really because I'm going to show you the actual socks. And here they are, completely finished, not blocked. I've literally just shoved them on the blockers in order to be able to show you. In the end, I didn't have enough of this contrast heel colour to do the toe, so I just decided to do the toes in the main yarn, and I'm really pleased that I did, and I managed to get them to match exactly. It took a bit of finagling on one of the socks. I realised that it wasn't going to finish on this green bit, so I had to add an extra 2 rows in. But given that everyone's got one foot slightly bigger than the other, if it's that noticeable, Dan can just make sure he wears that on his larger foot. Yeah, I'm really pleased with them, and I had actually quite a bit, I feel like I'm just waggling them about like this. I had quite a bit of yarn left. I was really nervous because he prefers his socks a bit longer, if I'm honest, and I was nervous that if I made them any longer I'd run out of yarn. So I kept really good notes with these socks. I know exactly how many rows I worked for every section, and I've got all of this left. So now I know next time I make him socks I could probably add at least 20 rows to the legs, and I'll keep experimenting with that using 50 grams until I get the perfect sock recipe for him. And so far, out of all the socks I've made him, these are the ones he says are the absolute most comfortable, so we're getting there. And I really enjoyed making them in the end. Once I started working on them a bit more monogamously rather than just picking them up and putting them down, I really enjoyed it a lot more, and I'm really glad to have them finished. So now I've just got to decide, am I going to give them to him now, or do I wait until March when his birthday is and give them to him then? I don't know. It's colder now than it'll be in March, but we are going to Scotland at the beginning of April, and that's bound to be quite cold, so it might work out quite well. And because these have got cashmere in them as well, they're really, really nice and soft. And yeah, I've still got the stitch markers on there where I was counting the rows of the feet. Oh, and the toe that I did. So I just made these up, and I cast on 68 stitches for these. I wanted to make sure there were plenty of room for him to get a comfortable fit. So it was 68 stitches. I did the heel, I think from Ellie Craft House Magic, her candy cane socks, I think. One of Ellie's sock patterns, because I really like how she does her heels. And then I took the toe from the Danny of Little Bobbins 'Twas the Night Before Christmas socks, because those are socks I wear quite a lot and I really think they're comfortable. And the toe is done slightly differently to a normal wedge toe, so I did that and that worked out really, really, really well. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with them. Damn socks. Oh, and these are on my sock blockers, which I bought from somewhere I can't remember. But I will look it up and I will put the name of the place on the screen. It was somewhere, I think, in Russia or somewhere not in Europe, or maybe it was, I'm just talking about stuff I don't know. I will put it on the screen. It was an Etsy shop and I'm really, really pleased with these sock blockers. Yeah, and when I eventually get my craft shed, which I'm hoping will happen one day, maybe even this year, these are going to be hung up on a nail on the wall so they can be beautiful as well as functional. Okay, second finished object, and I actually feel quite sad about this, is my advent shawl, which I've been working on. Oh, I just put these bits back in my sock bag. I've got to do the post-project takedown now. Does anyone else do that bit, you know, where you finished a project and you've got all the bits that kind of gather in the bag? So I've got all my DPNs, my labels, my leftover yarn, I've got my DPN holders, I've got some notes that I need to transfer to my sock book, I've got scissors, I've got a couple of sweets and, you know, other bits and bobs that just accumulate. So then you have to do the post-project bag takedown, don't you? You have to go and put everything elsewhere and put the bag away and all of that. It's quite sad really at the end of a project, isn't it? You have to say goodbye. Is that just me? It's just me, isn't it? My timer falling down. Right, my advent shawl. I've been working on this for over 3 years. And it started off as a project to use the minis that I did, that I received in my advent swap with Lily in 2017 when we first did our advent swap. We did our 3rd one last Christmas. And I also did a little swap with Sarah, my friend Sarah. So those minis went in. And then I also put the December Little French Meadow, who are no longer dying, mini skein club yarns in as well. And I think I always wanted it to be like a blanket shawl, something that you could really wrap yourself up in. And I figured this year would be the last year I would add to it, because I think another 28 or so minis would make it a bit too big. So it is now finished. I did toy with the idea of putting on a border, but I just thought it wouldn't add to it in any way. It's still got a couple of the precious stitch markers. I'm so used to hearing that little bell when I'm working on it. So I've kept the little stitch marker. These are both from Lily. They were in with my advents. It's got this gorgeous, I'll just check it's in shot there, this gorgeous little pine cone, and then it's got the bell. Yeah, so I've kept those on for now, so I know exactly where they are, and I might take them off because I'm going to make another one of these. Because I enjoyed this so much, and it's almost become part of my Christmas now, making one of these. I shall put it around me so that you can see how large it is. So you can just imagine curled up on the sofa in the winter, as it is now, all nice and snug, or you could have it as a lap blanket as well. It makes a perfect size for a little lap blanket. Yeah, so I absolutely love it. And now I need to decide, do I want to put it into use now at the end of January into February, or do I want to put it away and get it out in the run up to Christmas, so I again associate it with that time of year? Is it an all year round thing, or what do I do? Seems a shame to put it away. Yeah, literally one of my most favourite projects I've ever worked on. I've just found it so relaxing. So that is all done, and all the ends have been woven in. I talked about this a bit on my Woolality TV episode, because I absolutely love weaving in ends. So I had a thoroughly nice time sitting doing that. Sorry if I'm wobbling the camera at all. I keep forgetting that you're balanced on a wobbly table. Right, so that leads me on to works in progress. And the first work in progress I want to talk about is connected in a little way to my advent shawl, because I have another well, this isn't a scrappy project as such, but I have a scrappy project on the go, which, because of how much I've loved this, I'm going to alter slightly. In my lobster bag, which was made for me by lovely Susanne, hi Susanne, of Inside number 22. I absolutely love this bag. So I knew that I wanted to put it in use for a project that was going to take me a long time, so I knew I could always be reaching for my lobster bag. I've got my second ugly blanket. So a long time ago, when I first started crocheting, with all my little odds and ends, I started making what I called an ugly blanket. What I like to call an ugly blanket. And it was just any odds and ends, didn't matter on the weight or anything like that. It went into a granny square. And I did that until it grew large enough for a car blanket, like a lap blanket. And then I finished it off because, quite frankly, the workmanship was not fantastic and I wasn't that great about weaving in and joining and stuff. So I was worried I didn't want to work on it anymore. And I decided to start a new ugly blanket with only fingering weight or 4-ply scraps left over from projects that are just too small for anything else. So they would be too small to go into, say, a granny stripe blanket or another shawl or socks, you know, just maybe, 3 or 4 grams. And so I decided I would start another ugly blanket for those little scraps. So that's what I've done. And I've got this far, and it's a very enjoyable thing to do, and you feel good because you're using up stuff that would otherwise, I don't know, just get thrown away or not be useful. but I don't like the tension of it. I just grabbed a very basic 4mm hook to do this, but actually I'm going to go down to a 3 or a 3.25mm because my Advent shawl was worked on a 3.25mm and I really love the tension of that. So I'm going to frog this back and start again. And also I saw Kay Jones on the Bakery Bears was talking about a granny square that she's been doing where it won't distort, because the thing with a granny square is eventually they do distort and they're not exactly square. And because this is going to be quite big, I don't want it to do that. And she was talking, I haven't watched it yet, but I think she's done a tutorial on how to do it. So you're not working in a continuous round, but at the end of every round you're turning and working back again. And that stops it from distorting. So I think I'm going to go and have a look at that and use that as the basis for my ugly blanket. But that's quite a long-term project. I have made a little ball of scraps and things so I can work straight from it, and I'll keep adding to that as I've got it. And then I've got other bits in here. It just says yarn for ugly blanket. So we don't discriminate on any sort of type of fibre. It could be you know, acrylic or forgotten all the names. Blue Face Leicester or merino, or you know, just a basic yarn or anything, and any colour goes as well. So that's the idea of the ugly blanket, and I'm going to stop rambling about it. Okay, next, well, I'm not going to talk about my Strictly socks because I talked about them last time and I haven't done anything to them, but I just wanted to note here, my Strictly socks, do I even have them? They're in this bag. My Strictly socks are in this bag. This is my next, these are on my hit list for this week, so, or next 2 weeks. So obviously last time I decided, right, get Dan's socks done. Now it's get my Strictly socks done, given that everyone else managed to do some Strictly socks apart from me, and I ran the sock along. Oh, and by the way, all of the prize winners now have contacted me, and all of the prizes have been sent out bar, I think, bar 3, because one of them I've still got to make, and you know who you are. I owe you a bag, and it might take me a little longer to make it. And then I've got 2 others that I need to post tomorrow when I go to the post office to post some pins. So thank you to everyone who got in touch. I was really pleased to hear from all the winners so quickly. That was really, really good. And congratulations. And I better catch you all up now and finish my Strictly socks. Right, so the other 2 works in progress that I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, I'm trying to get this tea down me. Right, 9:25. We're doing all right. Ugh. In my Hannah basket, as I call it, I'm doing a lot of what I like to call my Hannah basket, which I've spoken about before. I just made this up, and it was influenced entirely by Hannah of Sheep's Alley, who often makes little crochet baskets using lots of strands of yarn held together. Yeah, so I had this leftover ombre yarn, and I put little details on there. Really pleased with it. And in here I've got a little project, or rather quite a big project. I'm making my seal. Woo. I was hoping to have this finished as well, because actually I've got barely anything to do. I've done 1 fin, and I'm halfway through the second one. So that's going to take me about 2 minutes. And then I've got to make the bow. So I've got to make half of one of those, the bow and the nose, and then assemble it, because this is what it's looking like so far. It's got a big end there, just in case I need to adjust anything. So the tail is on, the eyes are on. If you remember last time, I think I'd realised I'd forgotten to do eyes, so I had to rip it back a bit and unstuff him and put the eyes on and restuff him. Or her, could be a her. Yeah, so there we are. The seal is almost done. It literally just needs, I don't know, half an hour work, and it'll be done and dusted, ready to show you next time. So I won't waffle on about it too much, other than to tell you it is a pattern from the Zoomigurumi 8 book. There are many lovely patterns in here. So cute. There's even a little sloth. Yeah, I've got quite a few of these books and I absolutely love them. So that's my other work in progress. Oh, sorry if I'm wobbling you. And then I wanted to bring out a couple of other works in progress that I haven't spoken about in a while, to try and motivate me to do something with them. So one of them is the My Favourite Jeans top. It is living in my beautiful bag that was from Crochet Luna, Claudia, we did a swap quite a while ago now.
I'm not sure I understand.
Apparently Siri wants to get in on the podcast. So where was I? Yes, so we did a swap quite a while ago, and we have run a couple of the Dodgy Bag make-along together a couple of times. And you can see she's put her Crochet Luna stamp in there. And Claudia's got a lovely podcast, Crochet Luna podcast, and she does the most amazing things with crochet. It's very addictive to watch because she's very knowledgeable, and yeah, I love Claudia. So I am making in here, I've got my favourite jeans top, which I spoke quite a bit about, I think in Vlogtober, because I was struggling to make the pattern fit me. I was having problems around the armpits, it was too tight, and I had to add some height to the front of it to get it to work. So now it fits me around here, and I need to just basically set in the sleeves. But after all this work and effort, oh, and by the way, I'm using yarn that my non-knitty friend gave me, and I wanted to use it all in one project. I've kind of fallen out of love with it, if I'm honest. It's been such a pain to try and work it out, and this is nothing to do with the pattern at all. It's all to do with my inability to calculate and measure things properly. And I think I'm doing all right with kind of making it work, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, am I going to wear it? Because even though I've managed to create quite a neat arrangement up here, am I going to wear it? I don't know if I am. I don't know. I think my tastes since I started this probably almost a year ago have changed. But the problem is this is acrylic, and I've already heat blocked it. So frogging it, I'm not sure is an option, because obviously when you heat block acrylic, it kind of semi-melts it and it kind of changes it. So I don't know whether to persevere and just try and get it done and put it on and make a decision, or I don't know, change it into something else, like a bag or something, or just frog it and maybe use the yarn in something else. So yeah, but anyway, the pattern is lovely. My copy of it is not lovely. It's in black and white, so you can't really see it. It's really faded, and it's really scraggy where it's been in and out of the bag. You might just about be able to see what it's supposed to look like. It's a pattern by Natalie of Detroit Knots. She has so many gorgeous crochet garment patterns, and every time I see one on her feed, I'm like, oh, maybe I want to make that instead. So yeah, have you ever fallen out of love with a project because you just don't have the stamina for it anymore? And I'm not sure what to do about that. So I need to make a decision, because there's no point in me persevering with something that I'm just not going to wear or like or love. Yeah, so I don't know what to do. Indecision city. I don't know what to do. I might try and complete it first. Yeah. Okay, so what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Oh yes. Phoebe's Hufflepuff mittens. This is living in my lovely, lovely bag. This is by Eldenwood Craft, Emma at Eldenwood Craft. It's a bit muddy because I had an accident with this bag. I was travelling up to Birmingham, I went to the theatre with my mum and sister last summer, and it was in my bag, and my water leaked on it. So I put it out to dry, but it must have gotten a bit of the dye from the inside of my suitcase on it, but it's on the back, so you can't really see it. And then I've got this little decoration that was in a parcel that my friend Lorraine, who's Lorraine Pugh of Consciously Crochet, sent me. So I just think that looks really pretty on there. And I won this, by the way, I won this bag quite a long time ago in a knit along for the Striped Mittens by Badagak that was run by Emma, Eldenwood Craft, and Ellie of Craft House Magic. Little extra information. Oh, good Lord. Oh my goodness me. What's occurring? Oh dear, it's got stuck to some stitch markers, which I've obviously thought was a good idea to pop in here. Oh my giddy gosh. Giddy gosh, right, let's not look at that. Let's pretend that you didn't see that. In here, I'm making a pair of mittens for Phoebe. They're going to be little hand warmers. And I made Lilia a pair of these, and it's based on this pattern, which is also now a bit scraggy. And this is by Gamer Crafting, and they're the You're a Wizard mitts. Now, I made Lilia these with their DK weight Gryffindor colourway quite a while ago, and I thought I should make Phoebe, who's our little Hufflepuff, her and Dan a Hufflepuff, and me and Lilia a Gryffindor. I wanted to make her some as well. So I had some Hufflepuff yarn left over from some socks that I made Dan, and but that was a sock weight. So I had this lovely grey from a dyer that no longer dyes. So I'm holding it double to get a kind of DK weight to make these mitts for Phoebes. And this is how far I've got with just one mitt. And these have been, given that I took this with me to the theatre, I think last June, these have been a long time in the making. So these are also in my firing line for getting finished. I'm in a kind of, right, let's get stuff done or frogged kind of mood. So I'm making the first one. Now, because I put this down for quite a while, I'm going to have to work out where I am and look at the pattern and work out which mitt I'm making. And then get this done. But there's actually not a huge amount more to do on this first mitt because they only go up to cut to the knuckles. Oh my goodness. I think a lot of the work's going to be in untangling the yarn from the bunch of stitch markers. So yeah, that's another work in progress. That and my Strictly socks. That's the next 2 weeks. So hold me accountable and I'll report back next time. Left me pattern out. Right, this brings me on to my cast on plans. So I said last time that I wanted to talk about it. So I've been really obviously I've been really in the mood for getting a lot of stuff finished, which has been really, really great. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to start as well. But the more that I clear the decks with my current whips, there are 2 projects that just keep floating to the top of the pile of the sea of things that I want to make. And they're just 2 projects that keep coming back in my mind. And they are the As If Tee by Shay Johnson and the Ziggy Interrupted shawl by Sandra Paul. So I will start with the As If Tee. I know I've spoken about this quite a lot before, so apologies if I'm repeating myself. This bag, I'm so glad that I'm going to be using this bag. It's by lovely Caroline of Caroline Love to Sew. She hasn't podcasted in a while, but she still makes the most lovely bags. And this was a gift from Dan. He bought this for me, I think, for my birthday one year, and it's so lovely. Such a lovely bag. It's a bit squished because it's been squished into a box upstairs. And here I've got all the things for making my As If Tee. Now I've kind of been putting, oh, and apparently I've got something for another project as well. Oh my goodness, I forgot about this. Oh, these have been wound up for ages. I hope that's going to be all right. They're not terribly hard. This is Rosie's Moments. This is West Green Loft Yarns. And these are going to be an Across the Pond shawl, which is a pattern by Mina Phillip. And I've wanted to make that for about 2.5 years. Oh no, I've just added something else into the mix now, haven't I? Anyway, don't talk about that now. Talk about this. Okay, this is the As If Tee, the updated version. There is lovely Shay herself wearing the jumper in question. If you look on Ravelry, you'll see so many different gorgeous versions of this in so many different colour combinations. And I wanted to make one that was all the same colour, but you get this kind of see-through bit here. And if I'm very, very honest, I feel very nervous about it because I don't trust my instinct when it comes to picking colours for things. And I'm not sure that I've got this right. I mean, I love all the colours, I'm just not sure I've got it right. So for the main part of the sweater, it's a crop sweater, I've got Triskillion Yarn, Emery's Worsted. It's a British Blue Face Leicester. It's got it's so lovely, honestly. It's so lovely, it's going to be so lovely to wear. The colour is a Penumbral, so that's the yarn. And try and hold it up for a bit longer because I recognise sometimes I just like flush it up like that and then forget that you might actually want to read it. And that's the colourway. And I got this at Fibre East last year. And then I dragged my sister around for ages because this is the only thing I wanted to get at Fibre East was the yarn for this project. And then I wanted to get a blue to go with it. But I'm now worried that the blue is too light to go. So obviously this is a mohair lace in the colourway Nightmare. And it's by Banshee Yarns. That's the Banshee Yarns. So it's 72% kid mohair and 28% silk, which means it's just like a little fluffy cloud. Yeah, but what do you, I mean, I think I didn't want it doesn't have to match exactly. It doesn't have to be the same colour. I just don't know. I don't know why I get so hesitant. I've never knit a garment, and I think I just keep talking myself out of it because I'm scared to do it, which is so silly. So what do you reckon? Should I just get stuck in and start swatching? I really want the sweater. I don't even wear cropped sweaters, but it's just so beautiful. And when you look at all the other projects as well on Ravelry, you'll see why I really want to make that. So that is in my that is top of my want to cast on list. That's the As If tee. And then the next one is the Ziggy Interrupted wrap. Is it a wrap or a shawl? What does she call it? Just Ziggy Interrupted. I would say it's a wrap. This is quite a good print out for me. I don't normally print them out looking so good. So that's what it looks like. That's the front page of the pattern. This is a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to be showing you much more than that. And it's a combination of sort of zigzags and granny squares. And you need several colours for it, and I had a lot of help when I talked about this in previous episodes, and lovely Jodie, who is Tatty Cats and Yarny Tales, actually sent me some yarn in exchange for, I think it was a dodgy bag, to help me get the perfect set of colours. So I have now settled, I think it was 5 colours that I needed. Was it 5 or 4? I think it was 5. So if it's 5, these are the 5 I have chosen. Ooh. Ta-da! What do we think? I'm very excited about this. Very excited to be using these yarns because some of these have been sitting in my stash for a long time. So this is one of the ones that Jodie sent me. It's Fine Fish Yarns and it's the Spellman colour. And then the other one Jodie sent me is by the Natural Dye Studio in Angelus Grey, which is this one. Okay, and then the next one is, this is the Woolen Homestead, and I think it's called Hogsmeade Holiday, or something involving Hogsmeade. The label must be somewhere in the bag. And then I've got this Homespun House one, which was a gift from my friend Lou, way back in 2018. It's called Dobby Tries to Help. This is getting harder. And then the final one is an Easy Knits one. And I think the colourway was something like Tiffin or something. But this is a single ply one, so I'm hoping that'll be all right. And that's my lineup. Yeah, so that's what I've got for the Ziggy Interrupted. And it's all living in my Mrs. Robinson's Cupcakes bag, which is I just love this bag. Obviously because it's lobsters, which makes it awesome. And she's got her Mrs. Robinson's Cupcakes thing there. But also because it's got the houses on the inside and it reminds me of Denmark and Copenhagen. So yeah, so that's my second one that I wish to make. And obviously out of those two, I've also got the third one, which is the Across the Pond shawl, which I've just found the yarn for. So, oh dear. Here's me thinking I was getting on top of things. Right, I have an announcement. I have reached 8,000 subscribers on this channel. So first of all, I want to say thank you very much, you crazy lot, for actually deciding to subscribe to this channel and spend some regular time with me. I really appreciate that you do that because I love making these videos and I love chatting to you and I just love it. And I feel very lucky that people want to watch it. because otherwise I wouldn't have the excuse to do it. So thank you very much. And 8,000, I don't often pay too much attention to the numbers, but 8,000 is a bit of a milestone for me, because when I first started getting into knitting podcasts, I won a prize on the Knitting Expats podcast when she reached 8,000 subscribers. And she was doing an 8,000 subscriber giveaway. I entered and I won this lovely bag with cats on it, and some yarn from Finland, and some lovely Finnish chocolate, and a few other bits and bobs. And I just remember thinking at the time, wow, 8,000 subscribers, that is incredible. I couldn't even begin to imagine that. And I've just reached 8,000 subscribers. Mind blown emoji. So I had a scrabble about for stuff that I might have to put together a little prize package, and I'll show you what I've got, but not all of it's complete. Right, so I have got, let me just get this all ready. Let's get the worst of it out the way first. I've got a dodgy bag. This is made by me. Now, this fabric here was a pair of Dan's old trousers. Don't worry, I do clean everything before I sew with them. And this was a fabric I bought many years ago to make Lilia a dress when she played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in a school play. I need to add a drawstring, because apparently the latest thing I do is send people bags and forget to put the drawstring in, because I'm an idiot. So I need to put the drawstring in. I will also pop in one of my pins if the winner doesn't already have one. I have got a little Attic Spin Die prize package. They donated about 5 or 6 of these, so a lot of them went out as strictly prizes. And I've got 2 left, so this is one of 2 remaining. And you get in here, I'll show you. It's so beautiful. It's such a little treat. So you get 2 lovely minis in Vibrant Iris. That's Daffodil. I'll just pop that back in. You get a lovely little card with some stitch markers on. This one's got a key and a spinning wheel. You get a lovely little hand sewn lavender pouch, and you get some tea as well. So you get all that in the little Attic Spin Die, I don't know, what do you call it, grab bag. So that's going to go with the dodgy bag, grab bag and dodgy bag. Then I've got this gorgeous little DPN holder, which was again made by Susanne at Inside number 22. She's made me a few, which I use all the time, and she also included some that I could give away as prizes. And this is a lovely patchwork quilted one, so pretty. And then I've got some yarn, which I've had for ages, and in the back of my mind I think I've always been saving it for this milestone giveaway. It's by lovely Hayley of Ducky Darlings. It's a gorgeous colour and it's so soft. It's superwash merino nylon in the colour Tiger Lily, and that's Ducky Darlings. Look at those colours. I just think that's perfect for a milestone giveaway, because obviously my favourite colour is yellow. So that is from Hayley, and she donated that ages ago. So you get the yarn, the DPN holder, the dodgy bag, the grab bag from Attic 24, Attic Spin Die. Sorry Andy and Angela. And then I found this cute little box. It's like a little jewellery box. So I thought I would put some, I'll make some stitch markers and pop those in as well. And then I'll maybe pop in some edibles, some chocolate. And that's your little prize parcel. So 8,000 subscribers. How are we going to draw a winner? Let's do it in the comments. It might mean that I won't be able to keep up with comments. I mean, I never keep up with comments. I'm rubbish. I start off really well replying, and then I get overwhelmed. So I'm really, really sorry. I really, really love reading your comments, and I really need to carve out time to properly respond. When I have my craft shed and office, I'll be able to go down there and go, I'm going down now to spend time with my comments. So stop talking. If you would like to enter for the 8,000 subscriber giveaway, if you're leaving a comment below, just, what could you say so that I know that you want to enter? You could say, count me in for the, just say, if you're commenting and you're saying, oh, hello, and oh, I like those socks, just say, oh, and count me in for the 8,000 subscriber giveaway, and I'll know that you want to be included. That's not very original, is it? But yeah, just say count me in. And when I do the random comment picker from the internet, because you can do that for YouTube comments, if the person that is picked has said count me in, then you're the winner. And I will draw the winners in 2 weeks' time. So this will go out on Tuesday, hopefully, which is... what's the day today? It'll be around the 28th of January. So the next time I podcast, I don't know when 2 weeks is. Let's look at the diary. 10th of February will be the next day that I podcast. So that'll be the day that I draw the winners. And then the next podcast will probably be out on the 11th. So there you go. Go for it. Comment below. Say, count me in. Be in with a chance to win. Okay, let's move on to incoming. I just wanted to share one thing with you, and it's so random and nothing to do with knitting that you're going to be like, what are you on about? But I bought something that I was so excited about that I wanted to show you, because I've been doing something new this year. I've done it twice already. I've been going to lessons, a group lesson, to learn an instrument, a new instrument. So if you've been following for a while, you'll know that I played the flute for many years, and I recently sat a grade 2 jazz exam, and that just about finished me off. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I really wanted to try something new. And then I picked up a leaflet over Christmas at our local theatre saying that they do group lessons every Thursday morning, and I don't work on Thursdays, for the ukulele. So I went along and I joined the group lesson. I'm the youngest by about 20 years, and it's brilliant, and the teacher's brilliant. And I borrowed a ukulele for the first couple of weeks and loved it, and I promised myself that if I enjoyed it, I would get myself one. So I've got a solid wood one. It was only £25, it wasn't expensive. I'm not even sure if it'll be in tune because it's quite new, it only arrived on Saturday. That's C. So I show off and do F. Please don't tell me off about my strumming technique. So yeah, I bought this, it arrived on Saturday. It'll need retuning quite a bit until the strings settle, and I could not be more thrilled to bits with it. And I even bought a little case for it so that it will stay protected as I carry it around in grey, and it's got handles, and I just feel so pleased with it. And I've got my little tuning thing, because there's no way I can tune that without it. So that's my incoming thing. It's a bit random, but yeah, I know 3 notes. Anyone else play the ukulele? Oh, sorry. Let me know if you do, if you've got any tips. Right, finally is where I talk about anything I like. And I've got 2 things I wish to talk about, and I think the first one you will be particularly interested in. We spoke in Vlogtober about the simple snail-mail swap. Now, I ran something last year. Sorry, that means I've been talking for 45 minutes, so I better get on with it. Yeah, I ran something last year on Instagram called the Simple Snail Mail Swap, and the idea of it was that everyone signed up. I then partnered people out and gave them, we did it all via usernames on Instagram, put people together, and people swapped addresses, and the rule was that you only exchanged a letter, just a normal snail mail letter, no extras, no yarn, no bits and bobs, just a simple letter. And you had to be prepared to send to anyone from anywhere in the world. And there was a deadline for signing up and a deadline for posting your letter. And it was so much fun, and everyone really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. There's so many people have said that they have made real sort of connections because of it, and they're still writing to each other now. I'm still writing to my pen pal that I was partnered with, and it was all completely random. I did it via Excel, we were basically, my pen pal and I were a match made in heaven. We're so similar in our life situations. We're kind of the same age, we've got the same kind of outlook on life, the same worries, and we couldn't have been a more perfect match. And Anna, I owe you a letter. I know. But she'll kill me for saying that, because we both agree not to put, like, we never feel that we should pressure the other one, I think. And yeah, so she'll probably kill me for saying that, but I do know I owe you a letter. Yes, it was really, really good and it worked out well for me. And then I got a letter in the post from a lovely viewer of this podcast, Jane, and she sent me this lovely card which she made herself. It's a sort of, I want to say embroidered, it's not, yeah, I guess it's an embroidered card, but it's done, so it's like words, find the words, fabric stitched to make a scene. Isn't that pretty? I just really loved it, and there was a lovely letter inside, and it just jogged my memory and made me think, right, I've got to get on with this and try and organise it via a different way than Instagram, because obviously not everyone's on Instagram. And when I mentioned it back in Vlogtober, a lot of people suggested different ways I could do it. And one person said Elfster, and I don't know why I hadn't thought of that, because we use Elfster for our family Secret Santa every year, because it means, you know, it just makes it easy. So I went on there this morning, and I have, I think, set up a way for us to organise a snail mail swap via email. So the idea will be, I think it will work like that. So you're going to have to bear with me whilst we do this. So if you're up for it and you want to sign up, I am going to put the sign up link for that swap underneath this video. Go and look for the link. I'll also try to remember to put it in a pinned comment. You just follow that link and sign up. You might need to sign up for an Elfster account in order to do it. And then you join the gift exchange, and you have to join, at the moment it says you need to join by the 10th of February, but I think I will move that and say maybe by like the 20th of February or something like that. I'll try and tie it in with the next podcast, not the next podcast, but the podcast after, so that we can talk about it. And then, shall we say that the latest to exchange the letters would be by the end of March or a date like that. I'll go and fiddle with the dates, and we'll see if we can get it to work. So I think it'll be that we all sign up, and then once you're partnered with someone, you can then make private contact with them via email or via the website, and exchange addresses and just make sure you're comfortable with each other. And then, yeah, the rule is it's just a letter. You just exchange a letter, but you have to be willing to send it to anyone and anywhere. I can't be like massively involved in the admin of it. It should just sort itself out. And I think you've also just got to accept sometimes when you sign up for something like this, it doesn't quite work out, or maybe your partner doesn't get in touch with you. If that does happen, do drop me an email or a note via the website, because that did happen to a couple of people last time, and we managed to re-partner them and get them for the people that contacted me to let them know. I hope that made sense. So anyway, the link is underneath here. Let's give it a go. I think the best way to try and make it work is to just try it. So go and click on the link and we'll see what happens. The other thing I wanted to talk about was Phoebe. My little Phoebe has decided, due to environmental reasons, Phoebe's only just turned 9, that she would like to be vegetarian. And we're going to support her in that if that's what she wants to try. I'm not sure how easy she's going to find it when it comes to some of her very favourite meals, like Grump's Bolognese. But so far, so good. She's still eating fish. She still wants to eat fish. But they've been learning a lot about climate change and global warming and the effects of eating meat on your health and on the planet, and she just wants to make a bit of a shift. So, are you vegetarian? Have you raised children who are vegetarian? Do you have anywhere I can go to find good recipes to get her started? Now, bear in mind, she's not a particularly fussy eater. She eats salad and stuff like that, but this is going to be quite a big change for her in some of her basic meals. So we do eat a few vegetarian meals in the week anyway. God, the birds are going absolutely bananas on the bird feeder out there. I'm not sure what birds they are. I'm rubbish. I can't identify them. The only ones I know are pigeons and doves. I think they might be some kind of sparrows. I digress. Yeah, so we have like things like pasta bake and omelette and stuff like that. And she'll have scampi or fish fingers and things like that. But yeah, I just need some new ideas, stuff we can all eat. You know, maybe like some kind of vegetarian lasagna. So if you've got a foolproof recipe that everyone always loves for something veggie for a whole family, let me know. There is a huge pigeon on the patio. He's fat. He's obviously been enjoying all the crumbs that fall on the floor. Right, I'm just rambling now. I'm just talking and I've got nothing left to say. So I am going to say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It feels a lot quicker than normal. I'm impressed with myself. And I will see you in a couple of weeks for the next podcast. And in between then, hopefully there will be another Woolallity TV episode. Don't forget to go along to This Little Wonderful Life to check out the videos there. Don't forget to leave a comment below, and if you would like to join in for the 8,000 subscriber giveaway, don't forget to say count me in. And while you're on your way down there to read all the comments or look at the notes or anything like that, give the video a thumbs up on your way past. All right, I will see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for joining me. Bye.